Yo, this is Jay from Straight Smoke Gaming bringing you the next video in our off-season review series. So, in this video, we're going to talk about the NFC East. So, we're going to be covering the Giants, Cowboys, Eagles, and Commanders. You know, a lot of good teams. The Eagles, Super Bowl champs. Commanders made a very good run. And then you got the Cowboys, who've had a pretty active offseason, and the Giants, who had one of the better drafts in football. So this should be a pretty interesting video. Let's go and get right into it. First, talking about the Dallas Cowboys. So first, we're going to talk about key additions. You know, Javonte Williams, nothing too special there. Kind of a mid-back. Some would say bad. I like Javonte Williams, so I'm going to put him in the mid category. Dante Fowler Jr., good rotation piece on that D-line. Not sure how much he's going to be playing with Micah Parsons there. Maybe possibly on the other side. Because as you see under key departures, DeMarcus Lawrence is gone. So maybe you work him in on the other side. If not, still a good rotation guy. Kyrie Elam, good young corner, hasn't really lived up to the first round hype. So they didn't really give up much to get him. This was a guy they acquired via trade. So I'm okay with that move. Kind of a low risk, high reward type of guy. If nothing pans out, you only give up, I think it was a 7th round pick. Kenneth Murray, same thing. Guy hasn't really lived up to the hype. He was a first-round pick, but he's not a bad linebacker. I would be okay with starting him, or if you don't even want to start him, very good depth piece in my mind. They didn't give up much to get him, so same thing here. Low risk, high reward. If it doesn't work out, you didn't give up much. It was a late-round pick. Now, the two biggest additions this offseason, George Pickens is now the wide receiver 2. They traded for him. That's a good move. I think he will complement CeeDee Lamb well. So I like that move. Give Dak Prescott another weapon, especially since you didn't improve the run game at all. And then Tyler Booker, important piece on that offensive line. You want to have a good offensive line to help protect Dak Prescott and make the run game a little bit better, considering you don't have a good running back. Looking under key departures, the main one, like I said, DeMarcus Lawrence and Zach Martin. So Booker is kind of going to be that Zach Martin replacement. And then you got Brandon Cooks and Rico Dowdle. Nothing too important. Rico Dowdle was a 1,000-yard rusher, but, nothing too big here for key departures. Starters, so it might hurt a little bit, but they kind of did a good job replacing that. They went 7-10 last year, so it'll be interesting to see what they do this year. Next up, the New York Giants. Like I said, really good draft, to be honest. They also kind of had a good offseason. When I was making this graphic, I was a little bit shocked. Taking a look at key edge, Devon Holland, one of the better safeties in football. Can't say any negatives there, so that'll be a good piece to help that defense. Paulson Adebo, another good secondary guy. I do think he is coming off of injury, so I'm interested to see what he looks like this year and how healthy he is if he's ready to start at the beginning of the season. But Adebo should definitely improve that cornerback room. Abdul Carter, first-round pick in the draft. Don't think I have to say too much about him. The dude's a stud. He's going to be awesome on that defensive line, pairing him up with Dexter Lawrence. Don't got to talk too much about that. Jackson Dart, quarterback. I like Dart. I think he'll be good. I think he does need a little bit of time to develop. They also, two guys I did not mention on this list, they signed Russell Wilson and Jameis Winston. So those are two good veteran presences there with Jackson Dart. I don't know if Dart's going to start right away per se, but I do think we will see him in this upcoming season at some point. Darius Alexander, another good D lineman that they acquired in the draft. Should work well next to Dexter Lawrence. Have a good guy to learn from. Cam Scattaboo should complement Tyron Tracy very well. And Marcus Bowe, good late round pick that they got in the draft to put on the offensive line. That's kind of a need for them. Previous record was 3-14. They have a lot of upside. They do have a really hard schedule and a young team. So I don't know if this is going to be the year the Giants turn it around. They might have a good year. They might still have a bad year because this schedule that they have is honestly hard. But I would say after this offseason, they are trending in the right direction. Next up, the Philadelphia Eagles, the defending champs. So taking a look at key adds here. Kenyon Green, good guard. I believe they traded for him from the Texans. I think he'll work in well. The Eagles have a thing for getting guys that struggle on the offensive line and making them good. Look at what Mekhi Becton was. Kind of a written off as a bum, bumped him down into guard, and then he signed with the Chargers, I believe I read it was. but borderline, not with the Eagles anymore. That's all that matters. So I'm guessing that's the replacement there. Then you got Adoree Jackson, solid corner. You're not counting on him to start for you. Maybe be a nickel guy. You kind of got your two corners with the Eagles right now, or I guess the next wave of corners, Cooper DeJean and Quinyon Mitchell. So good depth guy there. He might be able to fill in if there's an injury. So I don't hate that signing. And then in the draft, they drafted Jahad Campbell. Can't complain there. They traded up to get the guy. Should have went a lot earlier than what he did. So the Eagles doing Eagles things, taking best available in the draft, and it's probably going to pan out for them. So a lot of teams messed up there by letting him fall as far as he did. Key departures. Now, there's a lot of names here. There's none what happens after you win a Super Bowl. You can't afford to keep your awesome roster because people want to get paid. So Milton Williams, he left. That was a big part of the defensive line. Still good defensive line, but pretty important piece there. Darius Slay, pretty good corner. Was kind of getting phased out with Quinyon Mitchell, so hurts a little bit, not too much though. C.J. Gardner-Johnson, we know he's a good safety. He's gone. Brandon Graham retires. That's going to be another defensive lineman piece that you're going to have to replace. Josh Sweat, another good defensive line piece that you're going to have to replace. And like I said, Mekhi Becton's gone. The Eagles went 14-3. They still have a good roster, still a good coaching staff, so I do think they will have a good season. It'll be interesting to see if they can do what they did last year, though. Next up, and finally, we have the Washington Commanders. So, Commanders shocked a lot of people. I did not think Jaden Daniels was going to play as good as he did this past season. Taking a look at key ads, they had a really good offseason investing in investing in Jaden Daniels. Von Miller, he's a little bit on the aging side, but that's all right. I think he'll fit in well on this defense. Von Miller is a good pass rusher. Not what he once was, but still a good veteran presence. Should work out well for them. Javon Kinlaw, good rotation piece on the defensive line. And I think he'll definitely get some work with them letting go of Jonathan Allen. So there's a hole there. A little bit cheaper of an option in Kinlaw. So I like that move. I don't see anything wrong with that. Deebo Samuel, addition on the wide receiver side to give another option for Jaden Daniels. Like that move. Lermy Tunsil. Now, Tunsil's a good tackle. Has a little bit of penalty issues, but overall, I understand the concept there. Trying to bulk up the offensive line with him and hit their first-round pick, Josh Connerly Jr. Trying to bulk up that offensive line to protect Daniels and that run game. And then they went ahead and got Trey Amos in the later rounds. That's a good high upside pick. It's a guy we might see work himself on the field in year one, at least as a slot corner, maybe as a main guy defending your ones or your twos. I think Trey Amos is good. I think he'll be good. Key departures, like I said, Jonathan Allen, big piece on the defensive line, but they worked and tried to replace it, so that doesn't hurt a lot. It hurts a little bit, but not a lot. And then Cam Curl, big loss in the secondary, so be interested to see what they can do there. Previous record was 12-5. I think the Commanders will have a good year. They had a really good offseason. Their departures, I think they did a good job trying to replace them. And, they got a lot of their still core players. But go ahead and comment down below. Let me know what you guys think. Let me know who you think had the best offseason. From the rebuilding standpoint, I would say probably the Giants had the best offseason. They had a really good draft. They made some good quality signings. So I think the Giants, they have a chance to be good this year. But realistically, it's going to be hard for them to be good with that schedule they got to do. But that's all we got in this video. So if you enjoyed, please remember to like and sub for more NFL content. And we'll see you in the next video. Bye, guys.